Green flag in the air. We're racing. Sliding almost sideways. Early on was the 21. That's Daniel Hemrick trying to get a handle on that car.
Brad Keselowski on that bottom lane. That's not something we're accustomed to seeing work. Normally you get stuck down on the bottom, you just get blown by. But with that PJ1 material on the bottom, he's hanging tough with Kyle Busch.
And I think the key is what you just saw right there, not allowing the 18 to exit off the bottom, forcing him to exit in the second or third lane. Now single file, it'll be interesting to see what lane they choose.
Kyle Larson's going to try that higher lane, then he diamonds it down, dives to the bottom of the racetrack, tries to tuck in behind the 22. We saw the 19 of Matt Tifft challenges. Now Brad Keselowski moves to the bottom of the track again, looking to the inside of the 18 for the race lead.
And Kyle Busch moved way up the racetrack to try to get in that upper groove where that material has been laid down, also still side by side.
A surging 22 of Keselowski making the bottom of the track work. Kyle Larson also trying to make it work.
Kyle Busch loose on the outside.
Here goes Keselowski. He'll take the lead away. Kyle Larson wasting no time, utilizing the bottom of the track as well.
It's fair to say this application is Kyle Busch way loose. Steve, it's fair to say that putting this PJ1 material down has changed this racetrack. That's not something we've seen work in the past.
Here comes Kyle Busch once again. Look at the inside of Keselowski.
We saw the 18 struggle with rear grip early on. That's normal on these cold tires. And the fear is that if it was loose early, perhaps it'll stay turning later into a run. But this track has already impressed me. We've seen more passes for the lead in the opening 8 laps at New Hampshire than I can remember.
Kyle Busch has got to worry now because he's got the 22 of Brad Keselowski looking once again inside that left rear quarter panel. Now he's going to look on the high side. Well, actually, Keselowski's going to go through the middle. We'll see if he can make the pass now. This used to be the preferred line. Can he make it work? Brad Keselowski on the outside of Kyle Busch.
What will the lap traffic do? Is that going to impede Brad Keselowski?
Keselowski once again right in the middle. Kyle Busch trying to stay on the bottom of the track, but Keselowski trying to take that spot away. And Keselowski's out front once again. The caution has come out.
Brakes went out.
You see the damage to the right rear of the 99 of David Starr.
I got him now, but going into one, they went to the floor.
There you go. You mentioned this being like a short track. You know, you use a lot of brakes here. If you go to the brake pedal and it goes straight to the floor, it's impossible to get it slowed down. So he did a really good job to not tear up any more than he did.
It's going to be hard to find where you should focus on this restart, Rick, because the front row, as Jeff said, are going to be starting on those very used tires that are very hard to get traction. But then you mentioned Brad Keselowski, Kyle Larson starting back in 10th. They need to make those new tires work and work right away. So turns 1 and 2, we're going to see 2, perhaps even 3 wide racing.
Again with the sticky compound that was put on the racetrack. We'll see how it works now that the track has been dried. As they come out of turn number 4. Getting ready to go back to racing. Green flag back in the air. Side by side for the lead as they come out of 2. Elliott Sadler with the momentum on the high side. Just in front of his teammate, Justin Allgaier, and this is an all too familiar sight, these two racing each other. Elliott Sadler will take over the lead.
There you see the difference in the start of the race. The bottom lane was better. At this point in the race, with 45 laps on the racetrack, the middle seemed to work better.
And how will the fresher tires work once again? Side by side for the lead. Allgaier on the inside, trying to take that spot back away from Sadler. Trying to utilize that PJ1 on the low part of the track bite. not a sight that you've seen on a regular basis in Loudon, New Hampshire. Side-by-side racing for the lead. Through the turns once again.
They both want this lead. Obviously, only 8 to go in this stage, but lurking behind is Kyle Larson. He's worked himself up to 4th, so they both want to lead, but running side by side, they're hurting their lap time, making contact.
Little contact there as Allgaier got a little loose, got up into the 1, and now the 1 of Elliott Sadler back in front. Here comes the 42 of Kyle Larson. He's going to look to the inside of Elliott Sadler. He'll try to take the lead away. 3 wide coming out of turn 4. Elliott Sadler just in front. Justin Allgaier and Kyle Larson, 1, 2, 3.
That 42 of Kyle Larson, Rick, restarted 11th and has worked his way all the way up in for a battle for the lead.
Here comes Larson, looking to the inside of Sadler. And Larson will make easy work of the 1 as he goes by with the fresher tires. And as they come through 3 and 4, one last hard push for Ryan Preece. Kyle Larson has the advantage, and Kyle Larson's going to win stage 1. But a valiant effort by Ryan Preece. Kyle Larson restarted 11th and was able to battle up and take that stage win. And Ryan Preece with those fresh tires doing battle as well. Side by side, bumping and banging from the Magic Mile. Kyle Larson wins stage 1. Great restart for Ryan Preece on the inside. Can he hang on to it? That's 2 tires versus 4 tires. Kyle Larson has 2 fresher tires, and Ryan Preece has 4 fresh tires on that last pit stop. Can he take the lead? He's going to. Ryan Preece in front of Kyle Larson. Here comes Kyle Busch.
The fans on Motorhome Hill, Steve, they're cheering right now. Their hometown guy took the lead.
And we saw earlier, his family was here, his sponsors were here. He listed them all. Numerous companies, local companies that have backed this young short track driver to get him 2 opportunities to drive a Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota.
So now you have the lead, and look who you have behind you. The all-time win leader in the Xfinity Series, driving for Joe Gibbs Racing, which, by the way, is the same team you're driving for. You both have 4 tires on. Again, this is your opportunity to show to yourself and to the world what you're capable of.
Marty.
And Rick, Steve talked about those local companies that came out to support Ryan Preece, his hometown just 3 hours south of here. Kyle Busch looking for that lead, but Jeff, he raised enough money to have 2 choices. He could either, 1, spend a couple of money and just run a couple of races with Joe Gibbs Racing as Kyle Busch goes by for the lead, and just run these 2 races with a shot and excellent equipment, or go to another team and maybe run 8-10 races. That is the dilemma that young drivers are faced with today. They can either go spend money on a few races with an excellent team, or go spend and get a lot of races with a mediocre team. So that's a big decision Ryan Preece made. As you mentioned, a lot of pressure on these 2 races to show what he can do, though, because this is his only 2 shots.
For the lead, Brad Keselowski on the inside, Kyle Busch on the outside, and Keselowski will take that spot away.
Well, the battle's not over. Kyle Busch, crossover, trying to use the pick.
Lapped car. Kyle Busch to the bottom of the track. Can he get it back? Can he take that spot back? Keselowski stays in front. Brad Keselowski, a lot of distance between himself and Kyle Busch as he comes out of 4. Brad Keselowski is going to win stage 2, and Brendan Gaughan will stay in front to be the first car eligible for the free pass. Kyle Busch, Kyle Larson, Ryan Preece, and William Byron, the top 5. Gaining some more valuable stage points. Elliott Sadler, Matt Tift, Brennan Poole, and Ben Kennedy. Brad Keselowski wins stage 2. Two and three wide once again through turns 1 and 2.
William Byron's the lucky man because he has a little space. No one next to him, no one really in front, behind. He has a little room to work here in the 9 car.
Kyle Busch surges ahead coming out of 4. Here comes Ryan Preece on the inside. Trying to make that lower line work. On the outside is Brad Keselowski, and he will take the spot away. As we see a battle for the lead, Keselowski taking the top spot away from Kyle Busch.
Made that look pretty easy, didn't he, Jeff?
Keselowski certainly, after a few laps, seems to have the fastest car today. That seems to be his strength. I think Kyle Busch has a very fast car taking off, but Keselowski, although this is early in the run, has shown that he has strength later.
Brad Keselowski left pit road. He was in his pit stall sideways. They did seem to take a can out of their stall. We'll have to see if that is a penalty from NASCAR. They were able to retrieve that, though, Kelly.
That's Elliott Sadler in the 1 getting a 4-tire change. He said he was shattering the right rear at the beginning, then said he just really tight on throttle. 4 tires for Elliott Sadler.
Take a look. Now, if the can leaves the pit stall, that's taking equipment out of the stall. And sure enough, it does. He tried to hang on to it.
Yeah, without a doubt, that's equipment out of the box. That should be a pass-through penalty, Marty.
It is a pass-through, and remember they had that weird angle because Kyle Larson was coming out of his stall. So if you look at that, Brad Keselowski had to pull into his stall at a very strange angle. So that was tough for the fueler. He was angled into his pit stall at a very odd angle and had to miss Kyle Larson when he was coming to his stall.
Well, Kyle Busch came on pit road 3/4 of a second behind Brad Keselowski, but right now Keselowski is 2.5 seconds behind Busch. So a major shift on pit road. Don't know if it was the pit stop itself, the problem that Brad had getting in, because he probably had to slow down a little bit to keep from having that collision, but big change, 3-second difference, 3.25 seconds difference.
But he's going to have to come to pit road.
Oh yeah,
22 because of the violation of
equipment.
equipment.
Watch 21, hitting this time.
Equipment leaving the pit box.
Just a pass-through.
So a pass-through penalty for the 22. He's on pit road, serving that penalty now. Well, this Cup guy has been incredible. Once again, a great battle building between Brad Keselowski and Kyle Busch at the start of this race and throughout the first 2 stages. But then a late penalty for Brad Keselowski. Equipment leaving the box has really put the race back into Kyle Busch's hands convincingly. Under a lap to go for Kyle Busch, looking for his series-leading 89th victory in the Xfinity Series as he comes out of turn number 4, a very familiar sight. Kyle Busch wins again at New Hampshire.
Nice job, boss.
Kyle, just goes to show what a team sport this is. So what does it mean you come back here and get to celebrate with these guys behind me?
Yeah, it's awesome because, they deserve it, and so does every team out here. But, my team, I want to say, they work the best, they work the hardest, and they made this Nostalgia Energy Drink Camry really, really good. The 22 was certainly really good, and I felt like we were okay on the long runs, but once they got track position, it was hard to pass them. So I can't say enough about this Toyota Camry, JGR engines, and hey, buddy, high five! Yeah! And, everybody that showed up here, we put on a really good show here for the fans. The Speedway does too with all the racing that they have here. So if you don't come out to New Hampshire, you're missing out. But want to thank DBX Sunglasses and Cessna, Xfinity, and the Xfinity Street Map. We appreciate what they do for our series too.